I have been craving a sausage biscuit ever since I was diagnosed with alpha-gal. I made a simple, delicious recipe with just a few ingredients. I hope you enjoy. We begin this recipe by preheating the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to take a half a cup of almond milk. I used unsweetened vanilla, and mix it into a cup of Bisquick. Bisquick is vegan, and I've been using it for all sorts of things, pancakes and waffles. So my kids are happy, and I'm happy that I found a easily accessible vegan option. My old biscuit recipe called for buttermilk and butter, so I react to dairy, and that doesn't work for me anymore. You're going to go ahead and sprinkle some Bisquick onto a clean, dry surface. You're going to dump your dough onto the Bisquick, and you're going to start to kind of scrape the bowl, and you're going to start to knead it and get it together. This is a pretty wet dough, and that's okay. It will make more moist biscuits. So you're just going to knead it. If it's too sticky, you can always add a little bit more Bisquick, but too much Bisquick will make dry biscuits, which if you like dry biscuits, add as much as you want. I knead it by folding it over on itself, and I kind of flatten it out. The reason I fold it in half this way is because when I finally do flatten it out, it will make it easier to tear the biscuits apart once they're cooked. I use a 2-inch cookie cutter for this one, and it makes biscuits about the size of a piece of round sausage. So it works well for this particular recipe. I find it's not too much biscuit. Sometimes when you're using bigger cookie cutters, you can end up with too much biscuit, but it's a good size. This dough, like I mentioned earlier, will make 5 of these 2-inch biscuits. Since it's a stickier dough, I got enough out of the bowl that was stuck to it to make that 5th biscuit. So it is there. It just didn't all make it out onto the counter. I line my pan with parchment paper because I just like the ease of the cleanup, and I put my 5 biscuits on it. And then I'm going to pop it into the oven at 425 degrees for about 10 minutes. I usually check it around 8, but 10 minutes usually works. It may be longer depending on your oven. The next step is optional. I cut a tab of the plant-based Country Crock butter, and I just lay it on the top, so as it bakes up, it kind of melts and just adds a little bit more flavor. While the biscuits are baking, I'm going to start on the sausage. So this is Butterball's Turkey Sausage. It is pre-cooked. I just think it's easier that way, but if you want to cook turkey sausage that is raw and cook it all the way up, it would be fine. I'm sure it would taste delicious. I like this one because I can microwave it if I'm in a hurry, or like I'm doing today, I can cook it in a saucepan. I added a little tab of butter in there, the plant-based butter again, just for a little extra flavor, and I think it kind of helps it crisp up a little bit. I may be wrong, but I think it does. And when I flip it, you'll see it gets a little brown and crispy. I think it smells really good, like sausage does, so I think it's a good substitute. I pulled the biscuits out of the oven right at about 10 minutes, and they're golden brown and good to go. Again, I melt a tablespoon or 2 of the plant-based butter, and I just like to pour it on top. I think it adds a good flavor, but that is just my preference. You don't have to if you don't want to. The final thing that I'm going to do is mix up and scramble 1 egg. I do like egg biscuits with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper on them, so I scrambled up an egg to add to my biscuits. An egg biscuit from McDonald's is one of my favorite guilty pleasures, and I do miss not being able to have an egg biscuit from McDonald's. I know this is a simple recipe, but I thought it would be good to start with the basics. Hope you enjoy.